You tell him! You tell him I'm coming! Tell him I'm fucking coming!
Oh, shit. Welcome back to the GodMode podcast. We finally got this show where we needed it to be. I'm so happy. My fault. I took a month off figuring out the odds and ends, but we back. As you can see, I'm floating across the city now. Brand new setup. And now we can have guests and get this shit done proper. And of course, we still gonna do the music and all that good shit. But I always wanted to have an actual podcast-esque setup here. And we finally got it to where it needs to be. So, having said that, I'll say this. Welcome my brother from another mother, SL. First guest, GodMode Podcast.
What's up? Good to be here.
Yeah, man.
I love this new setup, man. This is gorgeous.
This shit is butterscotch right here.
Buttery scotch.
Butterscotch pancakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, a couple of things I'd like to just start off the bat, since this is the first show, and we're kind of benchmarking.
The first show again.
The first show again, but no, this is the first, I think, real iteration of how we want this thing to go. As far as the music, we're gonna do the music, and when no one is here, we're still gonna do the actual show that I do, for the beats and all that good stuff. But as far as the comments are concerned, I always seen that a lot of podcasters, they turn the comments off. They don't want nobody, leaving stuff behind. In my case, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna leave them on, but I'm going to make this rule right here for all of you. If you want to ask a question, please do. We'd love to include you in the conversation. And, if it's, a topic, something, a question, boom, set it off. If your shit is lame or you just trying to do something that shouldn't be done,
leave the bullshit at home, please.
Right.
And if you're home, then leave
your house. There's two things we might do to you. Depending on who's here, I can't control the amount that somebody's gonna do. If they don't like what you're saying, they might spit back at you. So that's gonna be one, and that's something you'll probably like. That's something because that's an interaction. But me, most likely, if it's something dumb, I'm going to do the internet kill switch. I'm just going to ignore it. So if I do ignore what you're saying, you probably need to
be ignored.
Rephrase the shit a little bit, and then it might get better. So that's the story, man. So welcome to the GodMode Podcast. We was just talking before about the band Tool.
One of my favorite bands of all time.
Yeah, man. So
I love those guys.
You were just telling me about how they actually got started, and it's some fascinating shit, like how they got started in regards to being the Tool that we all know and love. Like that's how did that come about? You know what I mean?
Right. Nobody quote me on this. I mean, it's gonna be recorded live on camera, and I'm sure it's basically on the internet forever. So I hope at least some of this is gonna be correct or accurate. But from what I remember, Tool, when it first started, obviously it was a rock band, etc., and they were getting very popular in their local scene, and they got invited to do Lollapalooza. I think it was Lollapalooza. It may have been another event,
some kind of big venue.
Yeah. And while they were there, and at the time they were doing their rock thing, etc., their alternative rock, hard rock, whatever you want to categorize it as. But they met. I don't remember who it was. You can ask in the comments and remind us, and I'll try to get back to you guys. But there was a particular band that they met, and this band likes to trip balls like for days on end. And what the guy does is he usually spikes his bottle of whiskey with mescaline and LSD and you fucking name it. And what happened was, during their interaction with the guy from Tools and Maynard and et cetera, I think they accidentally took the
Swap
guy's
bottles.
he took the whiskey bottle that belonged to the trippy guy
Right.
and basically got really really high by accident and just tripped balls for like 2 or 3 days straight. But apparently, from one interview or another that I read, this actually set them on their path of that whole self-enlightenment movement that they're so famous for.
Right.
Are you gonna
Yeah.
pull
yeah,
up
yeah,
some
I'm
of
gonna,
those
yeah, I'm gonna pull up
psychedelic imagery?
Yep.
So if you guys ever looked at any of the Tool album art, you'll notice a pattern. There's like sacred geometry and all sorts of really nifty, trippy kind of stuff. Let's see if we can get it up real quick. And essentially, prior to tripping balls for 3 days straight, they were just their rock band the way they do. And then after tripping balls, it completely changed their musical lives and careers from henceforth. And that one event of a couple of days, because of meeting this one other band, completely changed everything.
I mean, look at this. I mean, this is like definitely some introspective
Right.
type shit.
And all their songs, like 46 and 2, how it's about, like shedding your old evolutionary selves and going forth into the next human evolution and becoming enlightened and leaving your physical bodies behind and becoming this enlightened energetic being and all that. It all happened because they accidentally got stupid fucking high from drinking this bottle of whiskey.
Shit.
And then the next 20 years or whatever is the Tool that we know and love today, which I think it's an amazing origin story.
That is such a sick story. I mean, like, how many other bands could have something like that and actually like?
There aren't any. That's why Tool is Tool. It's amazing. It's so freaking.
Check out
rare.
the new album, by the way. I'm not a fanboy.
Ah,
but
fear
like, on
not.
some
I'm a
real
complete
shit.
fanboy, and I will tell you, the album is amazing.
Yes.
I don't care what anyone says. It's the same Tool that you guys know and love, but also so much better. It's you can see how they've grown over the past 13 years.
Yeah.
The music is more mature, and
Well, they were always kind of like very well read. Let's call
super
it.
intellectual.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they were really really intellectual, very like progressive in their thinking and their music.
Right.
But this new album, like every single track is 15 20 minutes long. As per oh my goodness, it's beautiful.
That's some Jim Morrison shit.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Doors. You know what I'm saying? Like,
They're like my generation and your generation, Pink Floyd. What
Yeah.
Pink Floyd did for generations before us, for like guys like my dad and your dad,
Yeah.
I think Tool did for us. I'm curious, who would be the next Tool and Pink Floyd?
sheesh, it's hard to say.
Do you think it's gonna be a mumble rapper?
You mean you can't put it? You can't put it past them. You can't think that might not happen. But like,
I'm fairly certain it's not gonna happen.
well, just the nature.
There's no brain that goes behind any of this.
Well, all right. Well, we could hate on them all we want, but
Gucci, 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 Gucci,
right,
Gucci.
we could hate on them all
Gucci,
we want.
Gucci.
Yes, but I would say like if Rob Zombie was still doing it, like the way,
Instead of awesome movies.
Well, no, listen, man, that guy, like I'm a big fan of Rob. The shit that he's talking about is some amazing, like, people know him for his music just as much as they know him for his movies. And he's like, when he did the Joe Rogan podcast, he's like, look, man,
He was on Joe Rogan?
He did a Joe Rogan podcast. It was amazing. And he was like, look, I just like this whole white trash scenario. Like, this is what I always do, the hillbilly farmer psychopath. But, he says there's so many, like, there's business people that come up to him now, and they're like, yo, oh shit, like, yo, I watched your movies and shit. And he goes, like, the music heads, you can spot them 3 miles away. What up, Steve? And that's Stevie Brim. Yeah, Stevie Brim's in the building.
What's up?
You know what I'm saying? You gotta be on the show, God. This is what we doing now. But
Amongst many other things.
Amongst many other things, as we always do. But like he goes, I can spot the music heads 3 miles away. But like when you got business people coming up to you, I love House of a Thousand Corpses and shit like that. It's like, what? You know what I'm saying?
Don't see it coming, right?
Yeah, man. Come on, Steve. Man, you gotta make the trip down, man. We got a seat here just for you now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Why don't you show the audience the second seat?
Oh yes, there is a second seat, and now we could have.
Let me do a magic trick.
Yeah,
Ready?
yeah,
1, 2, 3.
Go. Here, I'll even swap it up so you don't know. I'll just do it like this. Yeah. And now you'll be at the intersections of the world.
What's good? What's good?
Boom! Now he's in the intersections of the world right there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Thank you so much, Steve. I tried. It came out lovely. I want to have.
Let me get back over there.
You kind of look good at the intersections of the world right there.
I look good anywhere.
Oh shit. Okay, fine. You know.
I didn't mean that. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Yes, I did.
Steve laughing at you, man. You know. So yeah, man. So this is kind of like the thing we want to do now, and you know, the best part is there's still just as much music as there was before. It's just I always felt like I want to talk, man. I really like having interesting conversations. You know, when you're just chilling, like smoking and drinking, and like, you know what I'm saying, like with your peoples, and like the conversations that come out of that. You know, I always product placement, yo. Jamie's gonna hate that shit. Yo, Breeze is gonna hate that shit. But here, that's why I'm gonna do it. Yo, White Claw. We drink the White Claw. You know what I'm saying? Because
amongst many other things.
Amongst many other things. Well, see now.
Except for bottles of whiskey spiked with mescaline.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But now that I think about it, that's something I'd kind of like to indulge in.
It helps
at some point in time, because you know that might take me to the next evolutionary factor, like it did Tool and shit. You know, but on some real shit, yeah. Like I'm very happy that this setup is like this now, and it's like just seeing it all come together like this, and it's kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy. Like this room is gonna host like the illest conversations. I'm telling you.
Oh hell yeah!
And this is the first one right here, you know. So I gotta say this. What do you think of this electric truck, son?
This electric truck.
I
gotta be honest with you. I'm sure performance-wise, it's dope.
Yeah.
I can't stand the way it looks. It does look like complete ass to me.
Well, because
in fact, I think it looks a little bit like. I mean, I guess for some people this is a positive point, but if you look up the truck from Halo, back when it was like 16-bit,
yeah,
that's kind of what it reminds me of.
It is the evolution, Steve. You got that shit right. But yeah, but it's. I mean,
I'd still drive it. I'd still own one. But I wish they did the body different. The exterior looks like ass, man.
Yes, we are vaping. Yes, Steve, we are vaping.
Well, can't smoke indoors.
Yeah, we can't smoke cigarettes in this bitch. So, you know, we got that. Obviously, he got that vanilla custard in his, and I got what the hell I got? I got that Dinner Lady lemon tart. That exclusive shit.
Product placement.
Product placement for smoke for the Nords. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, ways I figure everybody love to smoke. So, but since we can't smoke indoors, we're gonna set these. And
some
vapes
of us
up.
don't smoke at all.
Exactly. You know, we're gonna set up these vapes.
Cheers to the non-smokers.
Get that in. Yeah. Don't ever start smoking. Truthfully, don't. But yeah, man. But this whole electric car revolution, man. It's something to be seen. I think it's like the new technological renaissance of this century.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, it should have been here even sooner, but unfortunately, these damn companies, yeah, just like the tobacco company, they have such a grip on, what do you call it, on that economy, on that marketplace.
Right.
And their infrastructure is already so set to do this one particular thing.
Yeah, why change?
Exactly. And you have to completely change your factories around. You have to, you know, retrain a lot of people to do other things. Like, it's a whole new ball game. It should have been done ages ago, and they could have done it ages ago.
Well, they killed it off.
Right.
In the 70s, I think the first electric car came out,
and it got shot.
Well, I believe what happened was it was bought out by a major manufacturer and shelved. So it was like they didn't even want to entertain this idea of doing this shit, and to me,
the infrastructure wasn't there. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes, the infrastructure
wasn't there. They would have to change so much, cost too much.
I think the main idea behind what the infrastructure that needed to be is something that's coming around now, and that's going to be the actual battery, the capacity of onboard. Because, you know, I've heard the thing, oh, you're sitting on a battery, a chemical battery could explode, but it's
like in your gas tank,
right? That's what they were saying about the first automobiles. or hydrogen-powered cars when they brought, oh, you're sitting on a hydrogen bomb. Well, yeah, but it's the same thing with a gasoline tank pop, and we got that worked out pretty proper. But this is just, like, I keep seeing, like, this vision, like how kids used to meet up in parking lots of Walmart, still do, at night with the tuned-up cars. Like, something tells me that the next generation, first of all, is not going to go linear. It's going to go up. I think the drones...
Can't wait for that.
It's happening. There's drones that are picking people up already. And it's going to get to the point where they're motorcycles. You know what I'm saying? And I think the next rebels of the future, the kids, they're going to meet up on rooftops.
Nice.
And it's going to be something...
Skyline racing.
Exactly. Like race around the skyscraper.
Just not in a
like
skyline.
Like that.
Skylines don't fly.
But there's still so much that the unforeseens that have to be worked out.
It only happens once you start producing it, though. Like we saw it happen with Tesla.
Well, Steve just said Uber helicopters.
They're doing that?
Well,
or they're gonna.
This is his.
Are you just making an awesome idea? Because I love it.
He's making an awesome idea right there, bro. Uber got to pay you for that, Bob. You know what I'm saying? But like, Dubai bought the first hover bikes, the drone bikes that they made. They already bought them shits. Let me see if I can find what that thing looks like. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they are. Uber helicopters.
Really?
Yeah, it's happening.
Uber's taking over the world, man.
Yep, they're doing that. They're doing that for sure. Let me see. What would I even call that? Drone bike. Yeah, there it is. Okay. This is the one. I believe this is going to be the one.
There's a bunch of like private do-it-at-home kind of engineers.
Well,
that
like
are
shit like this right here. You know what I'm saying?
What happened there?
If it ever decides to load, there it goes. Like things like this. It's gonna happen, and Dubai already bought all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like shit like this. This is gonna be the next, spark in transportation and in movement and all this kind of stuff. So it's like, we're living in a revolution of transportation. You know what I mean? So like as a mechanic, because outside of here, it's what I do is cars. It's like, we're looking at this, and the guys that are not going to be ready, it's just going to be a mass exodus.
It's crazy. Time is changing exponentially.
Yes.
Whereas before we had like just that, the Industrial Revolution and that flip, but that took like, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 years.
But think of how much was done during
and
that
then the
time.
internet happened, and then within 10 years we had smartphones and computers in your pockets, and now we're starting on quantum computers, and now that's literally a couple of years ago we're doing this.
Hold on, I'm going to stop you right there. My boy Sick With It is here.
Yo, what's good?
Yo, that's one of my guys. I'm sorry I didn't see you. I wasn't looking up at the screen. He goes, I was ready to hear a 16 and shit. You gonna hear 16s, man. It's gonna happen. Yeah, man. I'm sorry I didn't see you. I wasn't looking at the screen at all. Yeah, this is the new setup. We're gonna be doing this shit like this from here on out. And believe you and me, we still got the boom bap right here. That didn't go nowhere. It's just I wanted to take this.
It's like a test drive.
Well, this is kind of like, it depends. You know what I mean? It's like, we're both music people, yes, but I wanted an outlet to do the same thing that we do, like when we're just talking off camera. And if it busts out into like, yo, play this beat, like we could play this beat, you know what I mean? Or if I have
the truth is, we usually end up having some dope ass conversations, and then once it's done, whether it's with me or any of our other friends, we have some really interesting friends, by the way.
Yes, and you're gonna see them all here,
and amongst other people as well. We're gonna try to get guests, all sorts of stuff. But the problem always was, we'd have this awesome conversation, and that conversation would always end with, that shit should have been live.
That shit should have been live and recorded and everything. Yeah.
We should have been able to share this. And finally we can. So now, instead of coming by and chilling, and when we're not making beats, just talking shit, we're just going to do it like this.
Just like I said, Studio Vibes Podcast.
Exactly.
You know
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. Nah, Sick With It. That's
Copyright.
my boy. Yo, he's been with it for a long time, man. But yeah, there's definitely going to be freestyles here. I definitely want, like, my son Stevie Brim, who's on the Facebook end of it right now. He's going to be in here for sure. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to talk just like this. And, you know, knowing him, he always got, you know, bars to the max, and there's probably like
He's nice.
so
He's nice
much stuff that I haven't heard since the last time I seen him. That, you know, Steve, you definitely got to come through. Bring Rudy. We haven't seen Rudy in ages. You know what I'm saying? We got
And Buddha, who's not Buddha anymore because he changes his name. Like,
who Buddha now?
I'm not even sure. Steve, what does Buddha call himself now?
Yeah, that's a good question, because to me, he's always going to be Buddha Bless.
I haven't heard from him. Yeah, Buddha Bless.
Buddha
That's how
Bless.
I met him.
Yeah, man.
It blew my mind. That guy has lyrics for days.
Yes.
And good ones.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? And then, since when no one is here, I'm still going to be producing the tracks. The good thing is we're always going to have, you know, exclusive tracks that we can play on here for all these guys to get on. And then, like, I've had this thought of, like...
I love this. This is so cool.
Yes.
Legit.
Yes, man.
Check 1 2 1 2.
1 2 check. You know, and
1 2. Give me the check.
I've always wanted to talk to creative people about stuff that's outside of their area. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to put that better than that. You know what I mean? Like, you have somebody who's a rapper, like, you ask him about a Tesla. You know what I'm saying? It's very interesting to see people's opinions.
And on top of it, we, you know, obviously we know and are friends with many musicians, but they're usually not just musicians full time, and they have lives, you know, very fulfilling lives outside of music, and you don't always want to talk about music necessarily.
Well,
so plenty of shit.
Sick with it got something for us.
What's up?
Since he goes, since it's a podcast, can I ask y'all some questions about hip hop? Would you like to hear some thoughts on some things? Hell yeah, Sick with it.
Absolutely.
Bring it, bro. That's the perfect thing for it. Yeah, man. Ask all the questions, and we will give you our deranged opinions on all of that.
I hope I won't disappoint.
You know what I'm saying? It's, I wish I had that song.
Oh, stop. Copywritten.
I'm doing it though. I'm doing no. You know. So, all right. So here we go. How do we feel about the current state of the genre?
Which genre?
Hip hop.
Hip hop.
Yeah. How do we feel about it?
I feel that up on the surface, it seems like it's sort of dying. But if you dig just a little bit deeper, there's a lot of really good people that are coming up and have been there for years that never got the attention that they deserved. And hip hop is alive and well. I want to promise that to everyone out there.
Oh, shit,
hip hop
yeah.
is alive and fucking well. You just gotta do your due diligence and scrape past the surface.
Mm-hmm. This is true. My fault. I'm reading. I got shit to say on this. Stevie came back with his. Buddha's calling himself El Negro.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes. That's right.
That's his.
That is correct.
That's
yes,
his.
yes.
And he's got a band, the what? Antoine Lope or something like that. My fault, Steve. I can't read. But yeah, that's his band name, and he's got some fire. He's got some clothes. He's got some fire clothes. Yo, we got to get him on here. I want to get.
Show the merch.
Yep, show the merch. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And all right, on that, I've always believed that a lot of these genres and trends, I think it travels in a circle. Because you had, the hip hop, that show Hip Hop Evolution. I've been into that shit.
Mm-hmm. Dope show.
They went from, like gangster rap to guys spitting over disco. Oh shit! All right, I pronounced that right. But
you can read.
Shit, that's a surprise. But it all goes in a circle, I believe, and the way it seems is. The genre itself is alive and well, just like I said. The thing is, I always believe it to be like a magnifying glass. the magnifying glass of what we all see and what the public perception of it is. Like when, you know, in the 90s you had gangster rap, that the magnifying glass of all rap, because there's conscious rap, there's, you know, there's gospel, there's religious rap, there's, you know, all this kind of stuff that subs from that genre. But the magnifying glass was on gangster rap. Now the magnifying glass is on the trap element of it. And I'm sure there's subgenres to trap that I don't even know about. It's just that it's not my thing. But I used to shit on them boys, but I won't shit on them no more because they got it. You know what I'm saying? They got it. They're doing it. There's something along the lines to what they're doing.
And
but
contrary to what people say, it's not killing hip hop. Like you said, the magnifying glass just
happens to be on trap at the moment. But for like a person like me who doesn't listen to that, I still listen to, you know, freestyle and boom bap and all this shit. I see new guys that are coming up that I'm just like, God bless, I gotta get my bars up, you know. and so the way I would say right now, the magnifying glass is on what's popping, let's call it.
But the mainstream, of course.
The mainstream, but the mainstream is the magnifying glass. And I think in a short amount of time, the boom bap is going to make a strong comeback in it, because I think as many guys that are doing the other thing, there's many intellectual guys that are ready to, you know, spit some bars over some crazy shit like that.
And what inevitably happens is, like you said, it goes full circle. The previous styles gave rise to what's out now. And now we have trap and all these like dubstep and electronic, elements to it. That's gonna feed back into the original boom baps, and now you're gonna see a new rise of new hip hop that's taking some trap elements, mixing it in with what they used to do, and now you have trappy boom bop.
Yeah,
boom
well,
bap.
I think the transition
and they're all
is
gonna
not
influence each other.
It's not gonna be abrupt. The transition is gonna be, you know, smooth. Like what Stevie said. Stevie said, "Hustlers turn junkies, bro."
That's the truth.
Yep, but there's dudes like Dave East, Roddy Ricch, A Boogie, still being original and bringing heat.
That's right.
So even within that genre, we're talking, you know, guys that are still, doing something worth listening to, let's say. You know what I mean? So, sick. I hope that answers the question. Bring me more. Bring me more. You know, there you go. Waka Flocka made an EDM album a little while back. So, you know, boys are branching out.
They're all going to start experimenting more, and it's all going to feed into itself and into each other. And, you know, that's how this music thing evolves.
All right. Sick with it. So, it's not okay for me to judge the current state of hip-hop, like J. Cole said. To tell them what they should do, who the fuck am I? It's all about the vibe now and not lyrics anymore, and I wish we could get back to that. Yes, and this is I think in regards to lyrics, right, the track is going to dictate a lot of how you deliver. It's kind of hard to deliver to, honestly, when I hear trap music. The reason I don't listen to it is it's kind of hard to hear any kind of story throughout that genre setup. So I think the best way is to put like boom bap to it. You know, that you can tell a story, you can get a little more intellectual on it,
more
with the bars, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to, you know, mama, I gotta you know. But see, that shit right there, I bet you make the club turn the fuck up at will.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's its own genre right there.
Club
Stuff
music.
that works in a club doesn't necessarily work in other
club
places.
Bangers, exactly. So and
everything has its own context.
And J. Cole is right. Who the fuck are we to tell them? That's why I said I used to hate on these boys. But then, like, who the fuck am I to tell them? You know what I'm saying? This is a whole separate generation that grew up with different values than we did. And, you know, and they went in the basement and they cooked up this crack. Who the fuck is we to tell them that shit is not, you know...
I'll agree and disagree.
Okay.
I think we're entitled to our opinion, and we can hate on them all we fucking want, because we don't have to like it. but that doesn't mean that they're doing wrong because it's just our opinion.
Correct.
I don't need to like it, and I don't like it, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't keep doing it.
True. And at this point, I don't even not like it.
Right.
You know,
It's just what is and what's there.
yeah, it's just my preference of what I would like to listen to. Is just I don't vibe with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't say it's bad. I can't say it's produced bad. I can't say it's written bad. But
A lot of it's produced actually really nice.
yeah, man.
A lot of these instrumentals,
exactly.
oh my god,
the
they're-
tracks are firecrackers. But I just it's not me. It's not me. I like that gritty shit. I like that boom bap shit. You know, and it's just
It's like that asshole in the fucking, you go to this YouTube channel of a track that you don't like, and then you go into the comments and you start shitting on it. Why are you in there? You're listening. You're just masochistically torturing yourself. Stay out of that fucking room.
right.
And listen to the shit that you do like, and go post positivity and send those positive energies to where they belong.
Nowadays, I'm all love. I will have a trap rapper on here and, give him all the love for doing what he's doing because he's doing his craft or whatever. But
Right.
Like,
Don't have to like it. I can respect it, though.
yes. And Six talking about, remember when they did the top 10 lyricists of the year? They used to have that. They don't even do that anymore. So it's
You need lyrics to have that.
well, right, but what he's saying is how the trend is actually changing as to what gets shown to us. It's like, shit, man, they don't even want to see that no more. So, okay, we're going to show them, like that thing they did, oh my God, I forgot what the hell it was called, the Double XL, remember the where they had all the trap rappers on and they were doing all that shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about, and that shit was booty, bro. That shit was burgers.
That problem that he's talking about, though, it transcends genre. It's not just in hip hop; it's everywhere, because there's actually been legit research done on this, analytical, longitudinal studies
Right.
of how music is progressing since like the 50s and 60s, and what happened is with essentially. Even mathematically and statistically speaking, we're repeating things more often.
Right.
There's a lot less, like that whole
XXL
bring it back
freshman
to the hook.
class. That's what I was.
Yes,
talking about.
yes, I remember that.
That was
But that whole
booty.
like bring it back to the hook
Right.
kind of situation.
We were told that how many years ago? We were told that
Like
at
a
an
good-
event at
almost
La
a decade
Conecta.
already. Yeah.
A decade ago, I remember this boy. We was outside of a La Conecta event. If you don't know Kaye and look it up. People's rocking with Gav Gotcha. And all that.
What's up, Gab? Long time no see.
Yeah, man. What's up? It's time to be on the show, man. But we were outside smoking, and we got talking with this boy. I can't remember his name, but like he blessed me with some shit. He was just like, "Yo, don't worry about that verse shit. Bring it back to the hook. Bring it back to the hook." But like what I see him just saying. But let me just read what Sick wrote real quick. He goes, "I used to look forward to the BET, MTV Source, or Double XL's." Top 10 rappers of the year, and the debates that they had, and like right now we don't even have that no more because who you gonna debate with? Somebody who's high on fucking lean.
Exactly.
But then he's talking about that year Little Dicky was one on that and outdid all the trap rappers. And
He's nice,
and
though.
he had me crying. Yo, Dickie's
He's
fucking
nice.
hilarious.
He's a comic, but he's got lyrics. He's an intelligent guy.
Right.
He's got a vocabulary. He's smart.
And I remember he was doing some bullshit where he was he was walking around rich neighborhoods and asking people to use their mansions to shoot his videos.
Smart man.
And 20.
That's how you do low budget.
20 out of 21 people were like, "Fuck you, you don't." Da. But that 21st person was like, "Fuck it, do the video." And I think that in some way he got on that way,
But back to the way that shit transcends genre.
right.
All the studies pointed. They tracked like the new vocabulary that's coming up in the lyrics, and you can all do this because there's lyrics posted to databases and stuff
Right.
like that. So you can actually
ASCAP
run a
and all of
script
that.
that mathematically does all the calculations and
Right.
analyzes how many words are being repeated, new vocabulary that's coming up, how often hooks are being repeated.
Right.
The kind of vocabulary that's being used, and the simplicity of it, like how many layers are in the music. The 60s had less effort than the 50s.
Right.
The 70s had less effort than the 60s, and it goes all the way up until today.
So it's just a falling
It's
line.
completely declining every single decade. It's getting more and more dumbed down, and the reason is for a very large part is like access to technology.
Right.
Back then, if you wanted to make a quality song,
Yeah,
you needed to know how to play an instrument,
yes.
which entails there's studying and effort involved.
Now
and
there's
all
4 or
these...
5 people having to play on time.
Exactly.
Now you're recording with reel-to-reel stuff, so you had to make sure that it was proper the first time, and to do another take, you'd be sitting there for an hour while they reset.
And all of that is seat time and effort, and your skills improve.
Right.
Today, I cannot know anything about music, go to the store, buy a Pro Tools setup for a few $100s or $1,000,
Right.
download or pay for a couple of samples, loop them,
Mm-hmm.
and then just release it.
Yep.
And if you actually analyze today's music and from before, you'll notice that there's maybe like 2, 3, 4 layers maximum in the song. You're gonna have, like, you know, your drums, you're gonna have a sample, you're gonna have some vocals. And then if you look at songs from like the 70s and 80s,
There were layered to the max.
there's like 20 fucking layers
Right.
in the track.
Right.
From, you know, orchestrated stuff, chorus, and all these different vocals, and all these other instruments that are being played.
Right.
And there was like just they're masterpieces. They're
Exactly.
orchestrated.
Exactly.
Compared to today, like,
Well-
it's because it's just so easy to access now.
Well, Sick just brought up something. People aren't reading books anymore.
Exactly.
Right? And then Steve came with the same point. 2 different networks, and we're talking together. The smarter the phone, the dumber we get.
Yep.
So, you know,
We're in the generation of referencing. We don't need to memorize, which is not necessarily a bad thing. You don't need to remember things if you could just look them up. And remembering things takes effort and time. That, you know, life is short. Like, I don't necessarily disagree
Right.
with what technology does for us. Because if you think about it, let's relate it to like mathematics.
Right.
In the 80s, if you wanted to do calculus, you had to sit your ass down and you had to memorize calculus tables.
Truth. And you have to know how to work those formulas out on
Exactly.
paper.
And then the graphing calculator came out from Texas Instruments.
It made it easier.
Right.
And the people who already knew how to work it out on paper used that instrument as a tool.
But what they did first was they laughed and scoffed all the people using graphing calculators as being idiots because they're not memorizing what they need to memorize, and you know, they're not doing it the real tradition. Go
Yes.
fuck yourself.
Yes, yeah.
Why would I memorize an encyclopedia if I can whip out my phone and just look it up on Wikipedia? Right?
Not like Sick talking about, nah, I don't even finish high school, Nas didn't even finish high school, but the dude's knowledge of history shows in his lyrics.
Absolutely.
Yes, because he reads.
His vocabulary shines through, his education.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if you're self-taught or if you're traditionally taught in a
Right.
school. The point is you had seat time with
Exactly.
knowledge.
Well, and you also wanted to learn, because there's, you know, all right, I learned how to make beats not because, you know, somebody told me, oh, you know, that's the cool thing, you know. I made, you know, you gave me reason.
Guilty.
You gave me reason. He gave me reason. Oh my God, how many years ago already?
man.
I'd counted like 15, 20 years ago.
It was like 2000 and...
You know, and I was just like, yo, I was just always wondering, you know, how I could put this poof, 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 poof. How can I put that onto something? And he gave me reason. And I made that little simple boom bap, and I was just like, all right, cool, yeah, whatever. And then when I moved out to PA, the right buttons were pushed for me. Somebody asked me to build a track. And I built a track, and I remember I was listening to it, and I was like, motherfucker, I can
Felt good.
do this shit. And it was the release of endorphins, you know, what do they call them? Dopamine. I got that rush of fucking dopamine from doing that track, and it's like, damn, son, I could do that. And, you know, here on out, I got one loaded now. I mean, like, the shit that I do now is like, I'm beside me at what I do.
And here we sit.
You know, and what Steve say? We meaning the sheep and PC babies. Yeah.
South Park reference.
Yes.
PC babies.
You will respect my authority. But like, as long as you want to learn, then schools have no walls, bro. That's okay. One thing I could say about the smartphones and all that good stuff, I'm still from the generation, and so are you, that to us the smartphone is a tool. It's all it is. It's all it will be. It's not a lifestyle, right? A lot of the cats that are being born after us,
Born into the smartphone.
born into this, this thumb. Like, it was crazy. There was a study done about this thumb and how it works the phone and shit. He goes, that's definitely a South Park reference. Yo, sick. Keep them coming, bro. I like where this is going. But like, you can watch an old person try to work a phone and they got to do it with two thumbs. Most of us work the shit with one thumb. You know what I'm saying?
46 and 2, man.
Yeah, it's the evolution. Well, the next evolution, like Elon Musk said, man, we have to merge with this thing. So now the podcast gonna come out of us as opposed to it having to be recorded. Let's see what Sick talking about. He goes, yeah, I feel that, man. I was always down. Was always drawn to music as a kid. I always interested in how dope songs were made, but never knew it's what I wanted to do. I was that kid at the cafeteria table with the pencil banging on the table at lunch while people were freestyling around me. The energy. I can't explain it, man.
You were my favorite kind of kid.
Yes, man, and stay like that. You know what I'm saying? And I always did the boom bap, like I always did the beatboxing. On this show I've never really like featured it, but like I did the beatboxing because I'm originally not from here. I used to beatbox because I'm from Russia and shit. I mean, Boris the Blade, if that shit don't give it away. But like, I used to do that shit back in Russia when I was a kid. Now the beats might have been different, but I was always, along the lines of boom bapping. And when I was coming up as a kid here, and the shower was my session because it sounded like, the echoes and shit. I was like, poof, 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 this shit sounded dope and shit. And that was one of the primary reasons why I asked you for Reason. By the way, if it wasn't for that one. If it wasn't for this podcast would not exist. Because he was the one who told me, like, look, man, why don't you just fucking record this bullshit and show people what you do in the lab? And I'm like, man, I don't know if they want to.
You already wanted to. I just gave you a little nudge.
Well, listen, insanity, all it needs is a push.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think we need to reconfer with the White Claw. Oh, yeah, tonight's session is...
Pay me money, White Claw.
Sponsors are coming. Tonight's a double session, by the way. We starting out just us two, but we gonna get the incredible lyrics of Mr. Kai in here soon, and my man Megahertz. They coming through a little bit later, and we gonna get them in on the conversation and everything. We just starting early. Yes, please. Testing and tuning. Let's call it. Oh, I got the natural lime. Yes. So
goes with your vape.
Goes with your vape. Yes. You know what I mean. So, but like that, the evolution of music again. I think in the big picture, it's still a big circle, because now that we're starting to mathematically root the fact that it's going downhill, there's at least some people that are gonna go, okay, how do we turn this shit around, Pop? How do we get it to start going uphill? And I'm sure with today's resources, the producers that are coming up are gonna go, okay, I'm gonna throw in an extra layer of shit into my work.
See, that's the problem. There's so many and not to take anything away from them, they might be really good producers, but these good producers have so much more access to technology and immediate, like the machine that you have over there. Yes. You don't have to learn scales anymore.
No, sir.
You don't actually know how to play scales,
but
they're at your fingertips. Yes. And if you fiddle with it enough,
you'll figure it out.
You'll figure something out and it'll sound good.
Right.
But you didn't have to go through that work and effort to understand the way it really works, which really makes an amazing musician, like knowing it viscerally from the inside. Mm-hmm. So these new producers that are coming up are still going to keep it basic because they're born into this. But that still doesn't mean that the music won't be dope, because there's plenty of dope music coming out.
Also because they're
just simpler.
They have to take into account the artist that's going to be on these tracks. And Six got a question for us. He's talking about, can you guys recall when you first fell in love with hip-hop? First lyric you were about to process in your mind and hit you in your soul?
I remember very well.
Hmm.
And it was this asshole's fault right here. that asshole's. No, this asshole's right there.
Yeah, me.
Over
Okay,
there, yeah.
okay, I'll take that.
It was in your. I think you had the Corolla at the time.
Okay.
You had a Corolla, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
And it was Tech 9. And it was Psycho Bitch.
Oh, Psycho Bitch. I put you on the Psycho Bitch. That's right, Tech 9.
And I fell in love with Tech 9 almost immediately. That dude
Psycho
is a god.
Bitch. She got my lights turned off, and I don't know how. Wish I knew back then what I know now. So that was your first.
Yeah.
Which lyric in that was?
Oh, bro. I couldn't even tell you. That whole track was just nuts. I spent like a week putting it on repeat and rewinding verses and trying, because he spits really fast.
Yes, he does.
And this was my first like hip hop love.
Right.
And it took me a long time to actually try to like sing along. I had to practice, legit sit there and practice and rehearse with YouTube on.
Pain with a bit of game
Game,
is that
bitch
bitch sickness.
sickness.
She's twisted.
Oh man, that was my first. Tech 9, Psycho Bitch.
Well, mine was very cliche. Very cliche. But there's actually two, right? But first one was Biggie Smalls.
Biggie.
Because I immigrated in the 90s. So like 91, I was already like 9 years old. And then I remember hearing a car pass by. And, I heard dun dun dun, ba-dum dum dun dun. Biggie Smalls is the illest. I was like, what the fuck is that? And then we buckshots out the sunroof, the Lexus coupes leave no witness. And like when I heard that shit, I was like, yo, what the fuck is this, Scout? You know what I'm saying? This shit got me hot. Like I had to find out but I was too young to find out what it was. But then going on to junior high school, I remember somebody gave me a tape of Lord Tariq and Peter Guns. It was da 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 da.
Sick sample.
New York is a place where the streets of the Bronx on my family roam. Your daddy, we home. Peter got a 9mm. A player haters can feel the flame from my heater. I was like, yo! So like those two right there sowed the seed of the douchebag you see here in front of you here. You know what I mean? And yeah, I would say the Biggie Smalls and Lord Tariq and Peter Guns, that particular song, Uptown, that's what it's called. Uptown baby, we gets down baby. So.
And if it wasn't for tech, I don't think I'd like hip hop even now. Now my hip hop horizons have definitely broadened. I like a lot more different styles,
right.
But you remember me back in the day.
Yeah.
I was a total metalhead.
Well, he was a tool head. He was a metalhead, and
Hey, I listened to all the crazy underground death metal, all that crazy stuff. I played guitar.
Well, you put me on Apocalyptica.
And
I'm thankful to this day for Apocalyptica. That's, and you put me onto D Antwoord, for crying out loud.
The Antwoord, yeah.
That was some shit like, we take blunt rides and shit, and. Just stuff. Yeah, I ain't worried about
in our youth.
In our youth, yes, yeah, and listening to "Hey Fatty Boom Boom, hit them with the chain chain, da 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 da," and I even remembered one Ninja verse that was two of them, is Yolandi and Ninja and shit, and the shit, and they're from South Africa too. They got nothing to do with the scene that's happening here, and like.
Zeph side,
that's like they're like
that's Zeph.
Yeah, and but like listening to that shit.
Fuck you, Lanaya, is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, motherfuckers tell me to slow my roll, but sorry, no can do. My style is so brand new. I'm trying to make you understand it. I'm here to steal the fucking show, cause baby, I'm a bandit. Now you're standing looking at me like the aliens have landed. Like what the fuck, son? Yo. Let's see. Let me see what Sick talking about here. So he goes, for me, it was "Life's a Bitch" by Nas. Life's a bitch and then you die. That's why we get high.
Classic.
Yep. And Big's verse on Craig Mack, "Flavor of the Year," "Flavor in Your Ear" remix. Yes. You're mad because my style. Yeah, you're adoring. Don't be mad. Ups and downs. Yeah. He goes, I was like, what the fuck? That shit is dope. You know? Yeah, man. Not from Houston, but I rap a lot. Yes. Yeah, man. So, I mean, this thing touches souls, you know what I'm saying? Like it or not, you know what I'm saying? And now the movement has just branched out so much that the magnifying glass isn't big enough to see everything.
Right.
So like when you talk, you know, when people say, "Oh, it's all dead and it's all nah."
No, you're lazy.
Exactly. You don't want to find the guys. Like I listen to a lot of the guys that are battle rappers. I listen to a lot of battle rap.
And who did we just discover right now? We were just listening to. I was trying to find King Crooked.
King Crooked. He was on.
Guy's dope.
Yep, and he was on a Chino XL track. Which is another one you're a fan of, Chino.
Big fan of Chino.
Yep,
he's good.
You know, and you know I'm a fan of Token, son.
Token's nice.
I'm a fan of Token, son.
I see great things for that young man right there.
If he doesn't go too crazy with his, because now, you know, he just got signed in 1-9 or whatever. He made his first piece of money in 1-9, got himself a Benz and a house. Don't listen to me, young man.
I think he's gonna do good.
Listen to me, young man. This is Uncle Johnny. I know what I'm talking about. Don't get that shit corrupted and keep producing that crazy shit you producing. Very important, you know. But like, I'm a fan of his when he did that song with Tech Nine. I was like, what the fuck, bro? That's some shit. Yes. You know, and that right there is what it is, man. You know. But the genre is never dead. It's never dead. It's just getting too large for the magnifying glass to handle. You know, but you know, like you put me on to what is it called? Lo-fi.
Lo-fi, yeah.
You know, lo-fi is some shit that, like, you know, it's been said, you know, working on this, doing this program that, you know, I do lo-fi, but my drums aren't lo-fi. You know what I'm saying?
You have like that lo-fi.
I got
rhythm.
the boom bap feel, because you know what I'm saying.
That's why I don't even really listen to lo-fi. I noticed it was getting popular. A lot of my friends were listening to it, and I checked it out, and I'm like, yo, this is exactly what Johnny makes. Like, this is totally him. Yeah. He needs to get on this shit.
I mean, I like. Let me see if I can find.
Because sometimes it's just a mismatching of marketing. You know what I mean? That's like the funny part.
Right. Well, like, let's see some shit that I've done. Okay, I know.
By marketing, I mean like labeling.
Right.
Like if you make dubstep and you keep labeling yourself as EDM,
right,
everyone's gonna expect EDM, listen to you, and say you're garbage. You're just acquiring the wrong crowd.
Exactly.
Because you don't play EDM, you play dubstep.
Exactly. Let me see here. Yeah, I want to find something that. You know what? Let's see if we can just do this.
When are the boys coming through?
Oh, the boys are gonna be here at approximately 8 or 9.
What time's it now?
7:40. So we're rocking good. Let me pull up.
Where is Sick from?
I don't know. Why don't you ask him? Sick, where you from? Sick.
Where are you from?
You know, SL trying to talk to you now.
I appreciate the interaction. He's got good
Sick,
questions.
Yo,
I
Sick
like
is
your
awesome.
conversation.
He's a good dude. He's been with the show for a minute.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the support.
Oh, hold on. He actually said something else before. Let me read that. I always say people like J. Cole and Kendrick are the saviors of hope hop.
Of mainstream
as
hop.
far as lyrics. I know
they get radio play.
There are some other artists with lyrical prowess, but those two, those are the main two, and I would agree.
Bro, when was the last time you heard Joel Ortiz on the radio?
Yeah,
probably not in a very long time, if ever. He still produces music to this day, and he's still releasing new things to this day.
Right.
And there's a lot of people just like him. So Kendrick's there, J. Cole is there, but I said,
they're in the spotlight.
They're in the spotlight.
They're in the spotlight, and that, you know, they're.
And no offense, Joel Ortiz will murder the both of them.
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
You know who else? The floor with them.
Yow, that's right. That's Stevie right there. Yow, for all fucking day. And you know who else? Rock.
Yeah. Rock's nice.
Rock from Helter Skelter, bro. Well, hold on. I'm still trying to find where the fuck.
Like I said, hip hop is alive and well. You just gotta scratch past the surface.
Like here, this is some shit that I would consider. Like he go, okay. Sick is originally from Atlanta, currently living in Oklahoma.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, this is what I would consider if I just have my damn mouse over this motherfucker. Me going lo-fi with it, but it's like actually one of my favorite tracks that I've done. If I could find the bullshit again, mother ass gun. There it is.
What is this?
You'll hear it. If it actually wants to play.
Yes.
See this right here? This is my version of lo-fi. But my drums are so not lo-fi in this. Crisp.
Spit, but I can't.
Yeah, man, spit a verse.
I don't know how to spit. I play music. I don't sing it.
Yo, he plays the guitar like you wouldn't believe it. You know, but so that right there is, I guess, why I got that term on it. But that's some lo-fi shit. Alright, Steve.
You know, those drums aren't that far off either. They're still within that, like, lo-fi realm.
I think they're still a little too crisp for the lo-fi. Steve, make it on the show, Steve. Let's get it, Steve. See, Sick makes beats. He don't rap on them neither.
Cheers to you, bro.
Cheers.
Run, please.
Yeah.
Baby!
White Claw. Sponsor. GodMode podcast. You know? But like, yeah, man, that's the kind of shit that, you know, that's the kind of flow I like. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll get into some angrier shit, but like, you know, I'll do that, and then I'll do like cryogenics. Remember cryogenics? I'll do some shit like that, and it's like, what the fuck, bro? Where did we even go from
That was the dubstep experiments, our dubstep stages.
Oh my god, they were wonderful. You know,
It's where our intro was born.
Yes.
Yo, is there intro there?
Of course it is. Where's Crispy? Crispy.
No, you got it on the.
Yeah, but that's not the whole song.
We don't need the whole song. That's
Actually,
just gonna play for like 10
track.
minutes.
I loaded up a different track on this already. Hold on, I'll find Crispy.
You don't need to. It's on.
No, it isn't.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Because I loaded a different track.
Well, then, yeah, don't worry about it. You hear it at the beginning of this feed when you start. That was Crispy. Our intro music.
Yeah, he said I could write a decent rap, but I've been torched in too many rap battles.
Bro, kudos to you for even participating.
I know my place in hip hop. Nah, you know what's sick? I think that's.
I wouldn't have the balls to even step up on that stage. To be honest,
number one. Number two, I think that's some horse shit. You have to be torched in order to be fucking born. You know what I'm saying? You cause
rise like a phoenix.
No, on some real shit. On some real shit. Say that shit, because that's how it is. You have to be burned in order to come up. How many times were we burned in this fucking game? You know what I'm saying? And me and SL have been at this shit for the longest. This, like, when I talk about GodMode, when we talk about the Mopie Corporation, when we talk about God Labs Machine, that's us. Right
Every
there.
burn is a lesson. They're not even burns.
Exactly.
I always learn something new.
So, you know, don't call it that. Don't say you've been burned. You've been taught a fucking lesson. And that's all it is. It's not... I don't think it's bad, man. How many times on this show have I been burned and people telling me, yo, you shouldn't be doing this shit. You shouldn't, yo, your shit sound whack. Like, if I would have stopped right there, this wouldn't exist.
Like, my shit still sounds better than yo shit.
Well, I mean, yo.
I'm not for nothing. These guys, the haters, they're all fucking trolls.
Well, look, the last track I made, right? This is the last track I made.
I love this track.
For this track, I was told that it's a cheesy sound and I don't have the ear to do this. You know,
Bro, do what exactly? Because this sounds like dope
Make
music to me.
music. Make
this
music.
sounds like dope fucking music
but
to me.
I was told I shouldn't make music because it is.
Dope,
right?
epic.
And I'm sitting there going like, are you not hearing the same shit I'm hearing? Can I be really that bad at this that like I don't know.
I think you hurt his feelings, bro. I think that's what happened.
I think I did hurt his feelings. But like this right here. You know? So that, you know, for that I was told that I'm shit. But that's the internet for you. You gotta watch, like, you know, Sick talking about, he goes, nah, it's not bad, but my heart isn't to making beats. I totally feel that shit. You know, it always has been, even when I didn't realize it. You're absolutely right, and that's exactly where my heart is.
That was the lesson.
Yeah, that was the lesson. How about
you found what your true passion was? You
Right.
got up on stage because you wanted to see if you could do that.
Right.
And you could to some extent, but you found out where your real passion lies.
Is making beats. You know, I gotta hear one of these sick beats, man.
I do too.
Yeah, man.
Yo, send some shit over, man.
Yo, GodMode Studios with a Z, Gmail. Let me play that shit live. You know what I'm saying? Or send me a link or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And
Bless us.
yeah, I'm sure he got beats that put my ass to shame.
I bet.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
You know, it's kind of easy apparently to the internet.
As I've always said, any musician, I don't care how good you are, you make 10 beats, 9 are shit, 1 is gold.
Yep.
When people hear a dope beat or dope instrumental or dope track or song, they don't realize how many you took to get to that one.
Yep.
You don't see the work that it takes in the final product.
Absolutely.
You only hear the final product.
Absolutely. And even in those 3 minutes that you're playing the beat or whatever, you don't see the hours. But the thing is, I think you hear them. You could have something that you worked on, like, all right, here's one of my old ones, right? That I worked on for a minute, and this was done with reason.
Oh, this is way back.
Yeah,
Okay.
bro. Like, so let me see if I can find this shit.
This is like 20 years old.
It has to be. It has to be. And God, it's called "Doing Well." I know it's here. It's actually like it feels.
We gotta find a better way to organize this shit.
It actually feels good that I get lost in trying to find
Good library.
a
good
track.
library.
You know what I'm saying? The library keeps keeps growing, and that right there is where it's at. But like one of my old ass tracks, where the hell is it, man? Oh my God. Well, hold on, Sick talking about. But then again, it was a troll. So no matter what you have done, they would have said some negative shit. Exactly. Absolutely right. That's exactly what SL was talking about. You know what I'm saying? And like that's so
the moment you go public, you have to immediately expect for people, half of the population
for people
to shit on
troll you out. Absolutely right. And
you're gonna get shat on. No
when
matter
I
what.
started doing the show, I was very, this shit touched my soul. Everyone said some bad shit.
A little bit self-conscious, a little bit.
A lot bit.
We had a few conversations there.
There we go. Doing well. Here we go. I did this shit when I was still out in PA. And this was done on reason. You know what I'm saying? Might not be like, but the track, like... This is one of the old bits right there. Oh, that track I don't have no more. We got Cass in the building.
Cass?
Yeah, we got Cass in the building. That track, I don't know where that track went.
I never met you. I met your brother.
Yeah. This is when I first learned like that layering shit. You know what I'm saying? I think Castro's came out with a good hook to this. And then I took a verse from Sha Brown and I put it on this, like for a hook from this. But yeah, so that was one of my old Jones that like still I think it belongs in the library from all the shit that I've done over the years.
It does. It has its place for sure.
It's kind of like this chill shit.
Lo-fi, but not lo-fi.
It's not lo-fi.
It's not lo-fi.
Definitely not lo-fi.
But it's got that smooth vibe.
See that track he's talking about? It was I took a Biggie sample, like kick in the door, waving the 4-4.
Yeah.
And then I did a track with that shit for him for his album.
Oh, by the way, Cass, I owned that album. I listened to it several times. Well done. And fuck Jezebel.
Yeah. Shit. I think she got the dues done to her by that album right there, man. If she didn't want to kill herself then, she definitely did it.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious, man. That was a very good album.
Yeah, so that was my artist who just dropped in on us. My first artist out in PA and whatnot, but
got my cash stacked up to the ceiling. Ding.
There you go. That's a cast line right there, man. Well, yeah, them days we was experimenting with a lot of shit there. But I mean, shit. Like that's why I think it's impossible to compare two artists. Two producers, because the roads you travel are so different. You might be traveling within the same genre, but you're not like, so to compare two tracks, that's why I'd like to hear one of 6 tracks, it goes, yeah, ain't it a weird feeling comparing the shit that you did years ago to the shit that you make now? Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Like,
I gotta say the production quality has definitely increased.
Yes. It definitely has.
Not to take anything away. You did the absolute most awesome best with what you had. But oh my god, what you got today is like fucking good, man. It's very good.
And like where's my shit at? Well, this one I got good praises for. Somebody wanted to do a song to this one.
Oh, yeah.
To me, it reminds me of that Gears of War. What's the song from Gears of War?
Oh, I don't remember. Oh, the Mad World?
Yeah. So I always thought of taking that one and like flipping it on there. But yeah, the comparison is night and day. But that's how it has to be. Yeah, they wanted to do a song to this. I think I even wrote up lyrics and shit. He was like, "Yo, pitch this to your people." I'm like, "Bro, I have no people." Like, I can't just...
We got this.
Yeah, it's just it's just me, Pop. You know what I mean?
That's all we got.
What was it? It goes. All around I see empty shell cases. As I reload, I will feel no sorrow, 'cause I'm not wishing for tomorrow. Mad world, it's a mad world. Like that, you know what I mean?
That's dope.
That one on its side, like, and you just talk about a dude that, like, a soldier, for instance, you know what I'm saying, that's just ready to die and not worry about it, like that shit, like that, But a track like that, that's,
Yo, why'd you stop that?
Oh,
let that play through.
Fault.
I was, yeah.
I almost feel like I gotta get a playlist. I gotta get a playlist.
Sign this man. Sign this man.
Shit. Yo, ain't nobody.
Pay me.
Yeah, ain't nobody signing shit, Pop. That's just the way it
We
works.
don't need you to fucking sign anything.
I don't need your fucking record contracts. I don't need shit. All I need is my people and this table and a couple microphones is lit. Shit. Freestyling off the top of the dome. I got my peoples and some puff and some beer, so let's go. Whoa. Maybe some White Claw, my fault.
Here's the guitar.
Yeah. Dun. Trying to find Kumute, son. That's my shit. Kumute is my shit. Where Kumute? You know, but like
that was amazing.
But like shit like that, man. You know, because I like to jump. You know, guys. Yeah, I'll send you some stuff over that I'll be able to talk about. Okay. That I have my fingerprints on. There you go. Matter of fact, I ran across an old CD that has all the beats I made in high school. Woo!
What?
Yo,
let me hear it.
Dude, digitize that quick. You need to save that. And made in high school. And
Yo, if you need, Dropbox that shit and send it over.
Yeah, man. On an outdated music program that had me cringing when I listened to it. The CD is scratched to hell now. Shit is 16 years old. That beat was dope. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You know, I mean, and like again, see, nowadays where I'm at, it's all love. That's kind of where where my motto sits. You know what I'm saying? Like, there you go. Oh, I actually spelled Kumite right. That's why I couldn't find it. You made me you know,
Kumite.
I'm a big Alchemist fan, like a big Alchemist fan.
As you should be.
Yep. And this track was born, you know, in the GodMode studios. I forgot which session it was. And I think Jay Breeze was here when I did this session. And this track is literally like one of my favorites that I have.
You found it?
This is like some straight Alchemist shit. Alk, if you listening, this one's for you, Al. He ain't never gonna listen
Tribute.
to this shit.
You don't know.
I don't. And I even had to break. Ah! When an Alchemist beat touches your soul, you want to break shit. Ah. I wonder if I should share this with my hip hop groups. I don't know, this podcast. Because I haven't shared it yet. Go for it. Fuck it, let's share it. While the beats are playing, so they come in and thinking, you know, Alright, let's share it to a group. Indie rap artists. Music promotion and networking. Real sound unchained. GodMode music, we gotta do that. They're gonna be like, yo, son, you should be playing music on here. Why are you talking? Oh, I accidentally shared it with the Edward fans. They're not gonna like that.
You don't know?
They're not gonna like that. Yo, you gotta share what's in this shit, bro. You gotta share like what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Like da 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 da.
Who's saying that?
They're gonna tell me that.
Oh.
Yeah, most people are gonna tell me that. But you know, the discussion is music, so I may as well get that going there. So yeah, man. So now we got a couple of heads in here. What's going on, y'all? This is the new GodMode podcast. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do some talking in between the instrumentals. You know. And when no one's here, we're gonna make some instrumentals. So musicians connect, all of these. See, I didn't share none of it because it's not my standard
Who cares?
you know, like
Share it all, share the love.
yeah, I'm gonna share the love. Music connection, global music exchange, music groups, underground hip hop. Yeah, I'm gonna share all of it. You know, songwriting and music production. All right, now I gotta share it with everybody. So, you know what I'm saying? So, welcome back. You know, I'm back with a brand new bag. You know what I'm saying? And I got SL on board, but I got to do it this way.
What's up?
Do it this way. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, shit like that will have me, you know, going through it, and like we just going through some of the old tracks that we did on, you know, on the GodMode show, since today is a new beginning, you know. So thank you, Sick. I appreciate that. Yep, that's one of my favorite beats. You know what I mean? But like, I almost feel like playing the Clown Prince. You remember that shit where I did the Joker?
Ah.
Yeah, you know, that one right there, like I went a little overboard, but all right. A little dubstep, but I really like
God Lab's Machine.
I really like how dark this one is.
Hey, yo.
Come on, Tech. If you're listening.
How I got these scars.
That's called Fun in the Lab.
Yeah, that's fun in the lab like a son of a bitch right there. I had fun making this track, bro. And I recorded everything, like all the sounds on the spot. And I broke up that famous line that he did. You know.
Speaking of clowns, did you see the new one?
Yes, I did.
Fucking amazing.
Dude, that movie was so not what I expected.
It was really good. That is officially... Okay, I don't want to say it's my favorite, but Heath Ledger and him are probably the two best Jokers I've ever seen.
Absolutely right.
He knocked that out of the park.
Mommy gets the kitchen knife to defend
So
herself.
real.
He doesn't like that. Not one bit.
Yeah, this shit is dark right here. But I felt like taking it to the next degree when I did
The wobble.
the wobbles. I had to put the wobbles in there just for no reason.
Why so
Synchronized
serious?
drinking.
This some shit Tech 9 can spit on.
Rhythm.